Despite the huge challenges brought on by the pandemic, Singapore is still seen as a choice location for new investments and business expansion. In 2021, Singapore attracted $11.8 billion in fixed asset investments thanks to large manufacturing projects from semiconductor and biotech firms. The projects secured are expected to create over 17,300 new jobs in the next 5 years, with most of them going to locals. The investments exceeded the Singapore Economic Development Board's medium to long-term yearly target of between $8 and $10 billion, but they were lower than the $17.2 billion drawn in 2020. To discuss these results, I'm pleased to have Mr. Damian Chan, Executive Vice President at EDB. Welcome to the show, Damian. So, I guess a hard question to start. Are you disappointed that Singapore did not attract as much fixed asset investments in 2021 compared with 2020, especially considering that last year was meant to be a year of recovery?
So we are heartened by the results we've seen in terms of the fixed asset investments, total business expenditure, and also the jobs created. They are all within with our medium to long-term targets. In fact, for fixed asset investments at 11.8 billion Singapore dollars, it exceeds our medium to long-term targets of 8 to 10 billion dollars a year. We are heartened by this because we see this as an affirmation of Singapore as the preferred location for companies to set up regional and even global headquarters to capture the growth, especially in the Asia-Pacific region. And it also reflects Singapore's position as a critical node in the supply chain as well. We must also see that the 2020 results for EDB was exceptional, and this was mentioned also last year as well, and we do not expect to repeat this in 2021. The year 2021 was also challenging because of global travel restrictions. It was difficult for companies to conduct feasibility studies, to come to Singapore to do such studies. And also that the recovery across different sectors was uneven, and that there were still companies which were going through restructuring.
Well, Damian, building on what you said, what is Singapore's strategy for this year? What are the high growth areas that will create the most jobs for Singaporeans?
We are still having many project discussions in areas which contributed to 2021's good results. So this includes companies in the semiconductors, electronics, and in the biomedical space. So talking to companies, for instance, in the semiconductor industry, they do continue to see strong demand in this space going into next year, maybe even the year after as well. Beyond that, we see that COVID has, as we all know, accelerated the digitalization trend across industries. So we expect to see strong opportunities in the space of digital economy. The other area is green economy, where companies and countries across the world continue to prioritize and embark on decarbonization opportunities and imperatives, and also for them to look at making more sustainable products. So we see green economy as also another early, but developing area for opportunity for us in 2022 and beyond.
Mm-hmm. And Damian, what more can Singapore do to put itself in an even better position to attract key players or projects?
Of course, one thing we need to do is to continue to further open up and restore connectivity, especially in terms of business travel. The other thing is that we need to continue to further build up our infrastructure to meet the needs of whether we talk about some of the new areas like digital economy as well as green economy. Right? Like for instance, building infrastructure to continue to meet the needs of the semiconductor industry, and also infrastructure which eventually will allow us to do more carbon capture, which will help companies operations here in Singapore to decarbonize. Because the other thing which is absolutely critical is for Singapore to continue to ensure that we build capabilities amongst the Singaporean workforce, both for existing as well as the newer industries, that we are also open at the same time to international talent to augment as well as to supplement the Singaporean workforce as well.
Well, thanks for your time, Damian. Damian Chan, Executive Vice President at the Singapore Economic Development Board.